Hi, I'm Kevin, and this is Real Boring Flips. And the month of May was a killer sales month. We're going to talk about everything we sold in the month of May here just in a moment. But I just want to say thank you again for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking videos and sharing them with your friends or people that you think might enjoy those. That really helps me. I work on the value for value model. So what I'm trying to do is provide you value, and you return that value with likes, subscribes, comments, shares. So very much appreciated. The month of May, much like the previous couple of months, has really been good, really building actually. And we're actually in about mid-June now, and I think June is going to surpass what we did here in May. So really happy with that. For those of you new to my channel, I work a full-time day job. I have another side job, and this is my third job that really I hope to be able to do up to full-time, but as much as I really want once I retire later this year. So I've been spending the last couple of years just trying to build, kind of work out the kinks on how I want to do this when I have more time. I've been selling on eBay for over 25 years, but really just serious for maybe I'd say the last 4 or 5 years. Actually kind of really started during COVID. So it's our COVID superpowers, and we just decided that we would do this for an actual business. And really there's no turning back at this point. We work out of our home, so there's many advantages to running a small business out of your home. So if you own your own home and you have space that you can dedicate to a small business, I encourage you to do that. I'm not a tax attorney or accountant, but there's plenty of people out there that can help you with the details on that. Before we get into it, I do want to share with you what I'm enjoying, because I know that's really why you came here. But as you can see in the windows back there, it's daytime. We're about 2:30 in the afternoon now. Now, normally when I film these videos, it's like 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And my choice of beverage to enjoy is very limited. And so I'm taking advantage of the early filming today to share with you an energy drink that I'm enjoying. This is Bucked Up Energy Strawberry Kiwi. So we're going to give this a shot right now. That's sweet. Kiwi strawberry is one of my favorite flavor combinations, and so I think I'm really going to enjoy this. It's 0 sugar too. That's good. So, just for YouTube out there, not a sponsor. So we're going to jump over to the other desk. I'm going to go through everything that we sold this last month, kind of give you a little bit of a idea on why I bought the item in the first place, what I paid, what I sold the item for, and if I typically have a little bit extra on shipping just because I'm on the West Coast, and sometimes my buyers, depending on which option they pick, sometimes there's extra, sometimes there's actually less than what it costs. So I try to be fair with that, but I do account for that in my final accounting as far as my profit runs. So let's jump over there now, and we'll come back in a minute. I absolutely love finding these Samsung One Connect breakout boxes. There's a bunch of different models, a bunch of different styles. I've sold this particular model probably 4 or 5 times now, and I have another one listed. And the best thing about these is typically Goodwill doesn't price these what you would expect. I've bought these from anywhere between $2 and $10, and the cords sometimes attached, sometimes not, but I've on occasion found the cords in the $1 cord aisle. So excellent finds. It's a hidden gem as far as I'm concerned. I've probably made $600 or $700 on these breakout boxes with probably less than $50 invested. I sell a lot of these cordless telephone handsets. This one came from a friend of mine. If you've listened to my videos, you've heard me talk about my box guy. He saves boxes for me. His wife buys just an absolute ton of Amazon stuff, or actually really high-end stuff. And so I get a lot of boxes and packing material, and occasionally he leaves me stuff, and this was one of the phone recent handsets that he left for me to sell, and I've sold a few of these now. I don't like to sell tennis rackets unless they're really big winners. This was not a big winner. I only had, I think, $2 invested in this one, and it was a nice tennis racket. It's just they're difficult to ship. My buyer did really appreciate it, liked it, gave me great feedback. I try and stay away from these things unless I know they're going to be a big hit. This Dungeon Masters Dungeon and Dragons screen came with a box. We were at a garage sale late in the day, and this guy had a whole bunch of D&D books, and I think he had been selling them individually throughout the day, and we hit him right at the right time. I bought the whole box. I think I paid $40 for the whole box. This was in the box, and I've probably sold $400 to $500 worth of books so far, and this $27 adds to the total. More of the recent Hot Wheels and Matchbox vintage stuff that I bought. This was actually a Matchbox train set, which was kind of weird. It was missing one piece, which was really just a sign. I think it was the railroad crossing sign, but everything else was there in really nice shape, and it sold like within a day. So maybe I priced it too low. There just wasn't a good comp to go by, and so for my under $10 investment, it was nice to get 35 quickly. These toner cartridges, I'm always astounded at the things that my Goodwill prices up and the things they don't price up. This was an open box, but it had two sealed toner cartridges in it that the serial numbers matched the box, so they were true to the box. $10, it sold almost immediately for $100. I hit my 10-to-1 margin, which I love hitting, and great stuff to look for. For some reason, certain things get priced up and some don't. More Hot Wheels. Actually, this was a Matchbox. It was unique enough that I paid $10 for it when I saw it. I bought a bunch of stuff like this, and I've sold a bunch of stuff like this. This one sold relatively quickly. I took an offer at $30, and I think I even got a little extra on the shipping. But it was a good investment. Not my 10-to-1, but still, I don't mind buying this kind of stuff because the sell-through rate's pretty good. These Crocs were part of our retail arbitrage when we were we were expecting the arrival of our grandchild, and it took a few days for her to make her arrival, and so we spent one day at the Marshalls. This was in December, so it was a good time to be there, and ended up buying these Crocs. I did pay quite a bit for them, I think $30, and I ended up taking an offer at $70, and it was good. It just took several months to sell. I'm not really into this kind of selling, but these were unique enough. These Jujutsu Kaisen Crocs. They were big. They were like size 12. This iPod, it came to me in a unique way. I was at Goodwill, and they brought out one of those clock radio docks that you would put your iPod in, and this was actually in the dock. And I don't know why they did that, because the dock wasn't worth anything, but they priced it at what they would normally price these docks at, which I think I paid $10 for. It took a long time to sell this. I had lots and lots of offers, but I decided I was going to stay at my list, and I ended up getting a sale at $149.88. And one of the things that I think worked in my favor is it had some Taylor Swift music on it that you can't get anymore. These magazines, and one more set. I think I am over $800 now in magazine sales. I've been selling lots of these military strategy game magazine sets. This was another one that went out, and just an astounding find. It's a whole new category for me that I just didn't know existed. I work for the Navy, and I found this Department of Defense Navy steam gauge at my Goodwill for $5. It was calibrated in 1945, so kind of a unique piece. There are lots of these out there, and I had it priced at, I think, $50, and my buyer made several attempts and finally came up to what I felt was pretty good at $35, and he gave me great feedback, said he really appreciated it. This marine radio was a recent Goodwill find as well. I think I paid $13 for it. It's brand new, just not in the box, and the mount was not with it. But I was able to test it, and some of these are really good finds. It depends. It depends on if the radio still has use. I don't think people are buying these just to put on the shelf. Someone's going to use this. And I took an offer at 42, so it was a quick sale. More magazines. These were the Wargamer magazines. The other set that you saw earlier was Strategy and Tactics, but all kind of built around the same idea. Military strategy games, the old school ones with the little pieces of cardboard that you used for your pieces. This was a set of 25, and I took an offer on this one just because I hadn't had any movement on the Wargamer magazine, so took an offer at 75. This X-Mods toy came from the free garage sale that I mentioned before. So basically I had a dollar or so into this. And it was this Toyota Supra. It had little issues with the steering, so I disclosed that in the listing. But these things can be great money, not just because of the car, but because of the bodies. I actually have one. I have a 67 Firebird X-Mod. I think my X-Mod's actually a 68 Firebird, but very similar. And my wife has a Acura NSX X-Mods car to mimic our actual cars. This Playmobil set, this was part of a tote. There was a tote full of pieces and a bag full of pieces of Playmobil. And I recently have been kind of searching through these things when I see them. I paid $20 for the bag, $20 for the tote, and out of this we found this incomplete set, medieval castle set, that I sold for $60. Later in this video you'll see something else that sold from that set. I have almost complete King's, I think it's the King's Castle, which is a much bigger set, and I've got that one priced in about $250, and I should get close to that. So, and an excellent pickup if you were, don't pass up on Playmobil, especially when you can see that it's a large set. These Wheel of Time books came to me at a garage sale. It was a garage sale that I didn't even want to go to because it took me forever to get there. They had great signs, but I felt like I was driving to the end of the earth. And when I got there, these weren't out, but this is a note to resellers or wannabe resellers is always ask the garage sale people if they have other things. They had a few books on the table, and I just asked if they had any more science fiction. And these people were incredible science fiction fans. And the guy said, yeah, I think I will sell my Wheel of Time set. And so we found all the books, and the I think I paid $15. Maybe there were 16 books. I can't remember. This was 15 books on the lot. So I must have paid $15 for this set. One of the books, I think it was book 4, just had a little bit of issues. It wasn't coming apart, but it just didn't look good. And so I originally listed it that way, but I set about to try to find a replacement book 4. And I went to my storage unit, and I have a couple of totes of just random paperback science fiction books. And I opened the tote, and the book right on top facing me was book 4. I couldn't believe it. You can't even write this if you were writing a movie. So I was able to swap that book out, and this sold relatively quickly after that at my listing price of $169.88 for 15 paperbacks that I paid $15 for. Incredible if you can find stuff like this. This Casio keyboard was kind of a funny thing. I found it at Goodwill for $10. People pass these up all the time, and you can tell this is about 22 inches, 23 inches long. These are small little keyboards, but some of these have incredible value. This one did, and mine was in good shape. Almost all of the ones listed that I saw were missing the darn battery cover, but someone has been 3D printing it, so I could have replaced it, but I chose not to for this listing. And I still got $225 for this $10 purchase, and it went quick. I would advise not buying stuff like this. I got it very cheap, and I thought it would be good. The problem is this one's new, or not new, but in the package. The package is ridiculously big. I could have just sold the set in a box, not used the packaging, and probably gotten a more and a quicker sale. But I did end up selling it, and the shipping just makes it difficult. So I'd advise, stuff like this, don't even bother. Or if you're going to do it, repackage it. I don't think I got any more money because it was in the original box. I think I got less. Here's a Bose speaker that came as part of an online estate sale picker pile. This was a great picker pile. I bought a original Macintosh computer. That's what I bought at the sale. And when I got there, they said everything in the garage was picker pile. I found a tote. This speaker was sitting on top, but in the tote was an entire Bose surround sound system, theater system with all the speakers and the subwoofer and the cables and the remote and everything. And they just gave it to me for free. So I did give them a little money. I think I gave them $5 for that and $5 for something else, but they just wanted stuff gone. So that was an incredible find. Tiny TVs like this, these are tube TVs, not little flat screen TVs. These are scores, and I have sold so many of these things like this, and it sat for a long time. I mean, it was listed for a long time, but something triggered it, and my buyer scooped it up at my list price of $269.88. I probably had $2 into this one because it came from a picker pile. This was such a cool find. I really didn't want to get rid of it. If you've watched my channel, you know I'm a Ferrari aficionado, and this was a cool little Ferrari transport truck for a Ferrari racing team. Really cool looking. I didn't want it to go. I paid $20 for it, and I knew I would get close to 100. I took an offer at 90. Here's just a thing to look for. This was a new in the box toy set, exclusive to Toys R Us. I look for anything that's got a Toys R Us price tag on it or identified as a Toys R Us item. I paid $5 for this, maybe $4, and I thought I would get more, but there was another set that I saw a sold comp on it that was much higher. I think it was just an outlier. They were going for about $50, so I was happy to take a $45 offer plus shipping. The sealed Call of Duty Mega Bloks helicopter set was pretty cool. I also paid $20 for this, so paid up, but I have no problem selling stuff like this. Quick sale. I sold it at a weird $51.50. I think the guy might be actually crazy, but he was happy with it. I have sold many Oppo DVD players. This one I bought years ago, and there was a problem with it, and I ended up getting, the seller ended up refunding my money somehow, or most of my money, because this had like one of the feet on the component unit was broken, and for some reason it wouldn't play certain Blu-rays, and I don't know if it was a region issue or not, but so I ended up selling this as parts, and I didn't have much into it because of the settlement on the original issue. So I was happy to take a $150 offer. I have another one just like this that's really nice. And so I have the box this one came in, even though the serial numbers don't match. I have that other one listed much higher with the remote and the box. But they're cool enough that I would just continue using it myself. Mac Addict CD, really any computer magazine media, inserted media, is a great find. This was a picker pile find, pennies into it. I think there were about 66 discs. I should have gone back and gotten the magazines. This was a crazy house. I got so much stuff there, and they were just hard to get to in this crawl space. And I was kind of done at that point. But it would have been nice to have the magazines to go with these. But I was happy to get $55 for basically pennies of investment. One more iced tea pitcher, Mr. Coffee iced tea pitcher sold. I've been buying these when I see them, usually $4 to $5. If I have a tea maker to go with it, I bundle them together. If I don't, I will sell them separately, like this one. And this one sold for $24.88. Okay, this is a lesson for people out there that pass by tarot cards. Most tarot cards are not worth it, but every so often you run into a pack like this. I paid $5.99, maybe $6.99 for this pack of tarot cards. These were rare, out of print version. I didn't even have, there was a little bag that these came in. I didn't even have that, and I still sold this almost immediately for my asking at $99.88. Crazy sale. more juicer stuff. This is a I tried to explain this in my last video and I didn't quite have it right. So TriStar Fusion juicers are what they used to call, it used to be a Jack LaLanne juicer, and then they have like a new version. They just don't use Jack LaLanne. So this is, if you look at the juicer, it's very similar. But I sell these parts. I buy them for $2 on discount day, and then I part them out. I part out these pulp cups, the pushers, the blades, sometimes the rubber feet if they're desirable. Any parts like that, except for the motor, they just don't sell. So I usually get $35 to $40 in parts for my $2 investments. So here's an awesome find. I was so like blown away when I found this. In the Goodwill that I have, they have like a sports section. They just toss stuff into a pile basically on a shelf. Very disorganized, hard to find things. But I saw this powerlifting belt, and I mean you can tell right away it's nice, and it was new. I mean, didn't have a new tag, but it you could tell it had never been used. The only problem was it was extra small. I mean, so tiny. I couldn't even imagine who's using this thing. But the comps were incredible. If this had been maybe medium or large size, I probably would have gotten $300 for it. But there were no solds. There were some listings, but no solds of this extra small size. And so I listed mine at $150, and I was happy to take $115 pretty quickly for my $15 investment. More of the Matchbox, vintage Matchbox. Now, one of the things that I really look for when I see stuff like this is, does it have a barcode? If it doesn't have a barcode, it's probably worth picking up by default, and this was the case. I got several different ones like this. This one was really nice. I sold it at $59.88, and I think this one was $12. Okay, this was an incredible find that it's just one of those gut feel purchases. I typically start in the bagged toy aisle and just kind of make my way through there. And I saw this bag, thought it was probably something worth picking up. It was $6, and when I went to comp it, I noticed there was a set of 4 that sold for $80, and I had 6, so I thought, well, it could be an outlier, it could be something special, so I'll just price mine at $100, and it sold in minutes. And then a few minutes later, I got a message from another person asking me to cancel that order and sell it to them for $150. And I'm not going to do that, but just lesson that you need to be, certain things I need to pay more attention to as far as how am I comping things. If the only comp I see appears to be an outlier, price mine like an outlier. I can always bring the price down. And in hindsight, I probably would have priced this at $150 just normally, and it might have sold to the first guy at $150 as well. So it was still a great flip, and quick and fast. And I mean, I literally came home, listed it, sold it, packed it, shipped it, all within a couple of hours. If only all of our stuff would sell like that, right? So I'm not a shoe guy. I don't really like buying shoes, but I got a handful of shoes, used shoes, but nice shoes, in boxes that came as part of a huge vintage, brand new pantyhose lot that I bought a few years ago. I've sold off almost all the pantyhose for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but I do have a few pair of shoes left. This one was one of them. I was glad to take a $21 offer. I think I paid $30 for everything. So I'm so far in the black on that one. This Girl Genius book lot, this was the last lot of 4 lots. I bought these at a online estate sale picker pile. This was a great sale. I met the gentleman that was selling the house. Kind of sad story, divorce, selling everything off. This guy was an incredible guy. I mean, he was a musician. I bought a ton of electronics from him. And he said, let me just walk you around the house and you point at stuff and I'll tell you if it's for sale and I'll tell you what I want. And I pointed at this set of 13 Girl Genius books. And he said, how about $10? And I said, sold. I sold the series 1 was 12 books. I sold each, I broke it into 3 lots of 4 books, sold each lot for $30. And then book 1 of series 2 I sold for $15. So incredible. I love buying books like that. That's how I buy books. The Star Wars Nerf gun. This was the second of 2 Star Wars guns I bought in a matter of days at Goodwill. The first one was a blaster, which I still have, but it's worth more. This was the Nerf gun from, I think this was 2011. The blaster was from the 90s. And these are great finds. You're not going to make a ton of money on these, but they're desirable enough. And I took an offer at $22.50 for my $5 investment. I don't buy these latch hook kits anymore just because they're slow sellers, but I bought a whole bunch of them early on in my official reselling business, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And I paid about $2 a piece for them. This was the last one, so I'm out of them finally. If I see them and I can get them for $1, I'll probably still buy them if they're sealed, but they are slow sellers. Okay, this purse was kind of a funny story. So my son and his fiance are getting ready to move across country for him. He's starting law school in Georgia, and so they've been looking at selling things off. And she had this purse, didn't want it anymore. She was just going to take it and drop it off at Goodwill. And I said, whoa, 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 let me try and sell it. And I usually don't sell stuff like this because I don't want to get into an issue of, hey, this is counterfeit. This was clearly not counterfeit because she purchased it new, and it had all the right codes on it and such. And I listed it at about $159, which was a really competitive price, but I wanted it to get it moved, so I took an offer at $125. Here's another thing that people pass up, these electric skillets. This one was really nice condition. I paid $2. It was a $2 discount day purchase. I sold it for $39.88, and I think the shipping was also $39.88. I think I saved a few dollars on shipping, but that's what they paid. The crazy thing about this is just the controller I probably could have sold for $35. And so I typically don't buy these. In fact, I probably won't buy these again just because the shipping and all that stuff just makes it more difficult. But I do have one of these brand new in the box that I am selling. So I recently did a online sale. I bought a ton of nativity blow mold set, in a huge set. And a couple of the other items that I bid on, one was a bunch of video games. So I think there was a sealed Nintendo Switch game. There was a few PlayStation 1s, PlayStation 2s, some Wii U games, Xbox 360, a bunch of games, probably 12 video games. And this was a brand new Netgear router, a pretty nice one. And I paid $100 for everything. This sold quickly. I priced it competitively, but it sold quickly at $129.88. So I'm officially in the black on this purchase, and I already have the sealed Smash Brothers Switch game listed for I think $60. So I didn't want to sell this Sojirushi rice maker. I got this also at that free garage sale. So I counted this as $2 according to what I ended up donating. $2 for this rice cooker was awesome. I knew it was going to sell. I really didn't want to sell it. I even made rice just to make sure everything was working. And we have a rice maker that we use all the time. This one was nicer, but in the end, this is a business, so I listed it, sold it quickly, and took an offer at $76. Not bad for my $2 investment. I bought this figure. This was a Pacific Rim knife head character. And it's just one of those things, you pick it up, it's probably worth something. It's not one of those McFarlane characters that, eBay's or Goodwill's gonna price about what it sells for on the used market. This I paid $10 for. I could tell it was gonna be good. The next day I actually bought another Pacific Rim character, leatherback, which I have also listed. But this one sold at my list of $49.88. And in that whole set of vintage Matchbox stuff that I bought a bag of 4 of these Skybuster planes. And these are, again, the ones that don't have a barcode on them. They're vintage enough. And so this was 1981 packaging. So I got 4 of them. I paid about $5 a piece for them, so I'm not making a ton of money, but these are cool. These are desirable. I'm in the black now. We have a ton of Nerf guns that I really need to do something with, but I bought this one brand new in the store. This was $12.99 at Goodwill. And what's unique about these, I really honestly haven't confirmed all this, but one of the workers was telling me that he actually refurbishes Nerf guns. He has a huge Nerf gun collection going back into the 80s. And what he said was these ones, you can't buy these double Mega XL bullets anymore. For some reason, Nerf stopped making this gun or this style. And so he found some place where he's got 1,000 of these bullets somewhere stored up. But this one, I don't normally sell Nerf guns just because they're difficult to sell. I mean, it just takes a while. This one sold actually pretty quickly. I think it's because of the desirable bullets, and it had darts in it. But my $12 investment, I got $35.89, so I took an offer. I sold a blade from another juicer. This was a Mueller, so a German brand. Doesn't sell as well, but I have sold these before. But one of the reasons I list this stuff is it's relatively easy to list, and if I buy another one, I just add the quantity. So in this case, I had 2 of these blades, and it kind of paid off because the person they gave me an offer for $10. I took the offer, but then they wanted to ship it to their daughter, and so I had to tell them I couldn't do that they could cancel it. And I just said, well, I have 2 of them, so I'll cancel your order. Just go make an offer on the other one. And so they did that, and I was able to get it shipped out the same day and off to the correct address, which was their daughter. And just it's very simple. If I buy another one of these Mueller juicers, I'll just add the quantity and store the parts in the same tote with the other parts. I almost didn't buy this because I had paid quite a bit for it. It was $40. And my original intent was because we have a Mercedes motorhome, the Sprinter van motorhome, I thought at least I could test it real quick, just plug it in and make sure it functions. Well, that motorhome I don't have access to it right now, so I wasn't able to actually plug it in. So I do have obviously guarantees on my listings, but I paid $40 for this. Sold pretty quickly, so I'm happy. So hopefully there's no issues with it. It had the cable that I guess is really, a lot of them didn't have the actual connection cable, and mine did. So I got my list price of $99.88, which was good. It was quick. And then this, I just got a couple more items. This Dragon Age game is sealed. And I look at this stuff, it doesn't, sometimes you see stuff at the store and it's like, yeah, no one's going to pay for that. But this had some value. I did pay, I want to say $13 for it at Goodwill. It was sealed, but the sell rate was pretty good, or good enough for me. And it sold at my list price of $39.88, within a month or two, so good. Here's a training golf club. I've bought a couple of these recently. This was the second of 2 different training clubs I got. This one came at a garage sale for $1, sold overnight at $39.88. In fact, I've got it here to pack up. But a lot of people focus on the golf clubs, and this guy had some golf clubs at the estate sale, and I was late on day 2 and picked this up for $1. So I love it when I find late day 2 stuff. And here's the last item. This was the second sale from that Playmobil Castle set. This was just one piece that went to another set, and I didn't have any other parts than this piece and a couple of railing pieces there. But I thought there was still value in it, so I listed it at $19.88, and it sold for my list price. So of the $40 invested so far, I've gotten $80 back, and I have the remaining set listed at I think $250, and then a bunch of other parts. So that was a really great investment. Breaking news. Just as we were about to go to print on this edition of What Sold on eBay, we sold one last item, and it's another set of military strategy magazines. This time it's the first roughly 25 issues of Europa magazine. You'll see in June I sell another set of these Europa magazines to the same buyer at Now I think I did take an offer on these, but I haven't gone below, I think 75 on a set of magazines. I think these I sold for, I want to say 90. Great pickup. This pickup just keeps on giving, and now I'm scouring for these things. It's a new category for me. You saw me talk about that, heard me talk about this earlier in this video. Just a new category I just didn't know existed, and these are excellent if you can find them like this. This was a huge lot of these gaming strategy magazines. Excellent. And we're back. Awesome month. I love it when things that I've had listed for a while sell. So I was glad to see kind of a little bit of my work or my effort to continually list items. Now, I've had to take a break here this last week. We had a family member have surgery, so most of all of my time was dedicated to that. So no listing, no buying, um, but this, I think, a concerted effort to maintain listing rates, and I'm talking like one or two, maybe three or four listings a day. I am trying to get my listing total up to 1,000, and so I think that's where I want it to be at all times. I've got probably, I think, somewhere around 830 listings right now, and once I get to 1,000, I'll start paring out some of my older stuff that just isn't worth selling or isn't going to sell. Really should be doing that all the time, but with my limited time at this point, I'm kind of leaving that for that point in time. But again, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. And thank you for enjoying some Bucked Up with me. Join me again next time.